everyone, Ivan here. Today we're gonna do the video for the week 2 assignment. Today I'm reviewing my module 1 project, and this is my HTML file, my CSS file, and my JS file. Let's see each and every one of them. In the HTML file, I created a few articles in the body so that I could send the content generated from my JavaScript code. Here I have some styles. I was cautious to include a root with my variables for the colors and also for some spacings and font families. And my most important contents have a display flex. This is so I could use the flex direction column in order to provide a mobile first architecture for my web app. I'm going to show you how this particular page looks like. This is my project. I decided to call it Family Dashboard because I wanted to build this in order for my family to use it. I wanted to create something that might be useful for my family. So how this thing works? Let's see the code, and let's also see the requirements. First, model specific requirements. Display output to the screen. This application displays output to the screen. This is the output, and I am able to do that by fetching the data from these two APIs. This is an API for the weather from the openmedio.com page, and this is a currency API. This is the same exact API that Google uses for the US to Mexican pesos conversion. I call these two APIs through these two functions, fetch weather and fetch currency. I generate these dynamic divs in this last sentence of the API. Here I can select the forecast days that are to be shown in the web page. So let me show you. Here we have the forecast for the next 12 days, including the present day. So if I erase this and let me write a number 5. So I save my file, I can open the app, and only 5 days of the forecast are shown. So this is something that I can modify at will. It was my personal decision to include the forecast for the next 12 days. So I write back the number 12. I save my file, and once again, the 12-day forecast is shown. So that's for this display output to the screen. Native array ES6 functions. I have one of that here. When I use the map method to extract the forecast data from the API, I'm using one of these native array ES6 functions. Recursion. Recursion is shown here through this fetch with retry function. So how this is important in this particular program. Let me show you. Fetch with retry is used in fetch weather and in fetch currency. Instead of just using fetch in the two following functions, I use fetch with retry so that I can give an opportunity. So I mean, the purpose of using fetch with retry and giving the API 3 attempts to deliver the data is to prevent the user from reloading manually the web page. I mean, if the API has a little delay in delivering the data, I am giving the API 3 tries so that in the second try, the API can deliver the data correctly, and then the web page will be reloaded without the user having to reload it manually. So that's the purpose of this function, and the requirement of recursion is fulfilled here. Use a JavaScript library written by someone else in your code. This JavaScript library is implemented here. There's the library that is not written by myself, and how I use this library. Let me show you. Let me show you. It was here, right? Yeah. By this portion of code in the display error function, I'm using this library. How does it work? Well, let's say that we have an error in our code, where I can put the error. Here, the const promise. Here we have the const promise, and it returns the const promise. But let me change the name to data. So now I'm going to generate an error. I save that change. So when I go to my web app, I'm gonna see this beautiful div. I don't know if this is a div. Yeah, this is a div, and it has a particular design that is not the usual square of alert that we see when we have an error. So this is the functionality of the library that I implemented for this web application. And the error is for the currency function. So my weather function is delivering all the data correctly. If I go to my code once again and I write data and I save, the error is not there anymore. So demonstrate throwing and handling exceptions. I think that we already demonstrated that. If we go to the fetch weather, to the fetch weather or the fetch currency, and we change the name of the const once again, then I will generate an error, and the try will pass to the catch, and then the error will be displayed. Create DOM structures with CSS. Okay, in my CSS file, I have a lot of classes and a few IDs. So these classes and these IDs are in my HTML file, and some of them are generated through my inner HTML instances in my JavaScript code. So for each class and each ID, I wrote the proper styles, including color, width, font family, background, display, and even wrote the proper media queries so that this web page will look just fine in a cell phone or in a desktop screen. So let me show you. Here we have the web app, but if we push this web app to 320 pixels, everything looks just fine. And from 320 pixels to 1600 pixels, everything looks just fine. So this is a web app that can be seen in the smallest of the cell phones, and also in a laptop or a desktop computer. So now we are going to go with the general submissions checklist. Did you write at least 100 lines of code? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we have in this code at least 200 lines of code. Did you use the correct README template? I wrote README for this project, and I used the template that was provided, including a project description, the core framework modules, the requirements that were fulfilled with this project, an example of a function that uses recursion, uh, and also instructions for you guys to download this code in GitHub and in your homes, and be able to execute this web app. Did you completely populate the README template? Yeah, I wrote everything here. Did you create the video that includes you in a window? I'm recording the video now. Did you post a link to your video in the proper Microsoft Teams channel? I will provide the link for this video once it's recorded and uploaded. Did you push the code with the README file? Yeah, I pushed the code with the README file. This is my repository, and this is the README file. And if you go to settings and pages, and you go here, the GitHub Pages service is able to run my web app. Currently, I have the forecast configured to show the forecast for Ciudad Juarez, but modifying the longitude and latitude attributes in the API, you can show the forecast for any place on Earth. Just here, you just write the correct latitude and longitude values for your specific geographical location, and this will work very fine for you. I remember that for this project, it was not allowed to have a generic name for the repository. So I'm going to change the name to what might be family dashboard. For the forecast and USDMX currency. Need to rename it. And that's that. So guys, thank you for watching. I hope you are doing well in your personal projects and in everyday life. And thank you for watching.